across the world, real estate agents are underachieving. They're missing out on millions of dollars in commissions. My name is Pat Hiban, and in the past 27 years, I've sold over 6,000 homes, selling over $1 billion in real estate volume. My plan is to interview agents from across the world and help all agents create their destiny.
This episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Hiban. Check out what the Rockstars are reading for free.
Okay, great. With me today is Jay Kinder. Jay Kinder is a killer agent in Lawton, Oklahoma, formerly the top Caldwell Banker agent, and now with his own company, doing hundreds of units a year. Jay has also been successful in leaving his company in Oklahoma goodbye and relocating to Texas, where he runs two other companies. He's a great guy, and I can't wait to talk to him about all things real estate. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Hey, Pat. It's great to be here, my friend.
Good. So let's first talk about Lawton, Oklahoma. So how long you been selling there?
Yeah, got into real estate at the tender age of 19 back in 1998. So that kind of shares my age a little bit. I've been doing this quite a while now.
How many units are you doing there in Lawton?
The best year we ever had, I think we did 531 transactions. We've really dialed in the model since I stepped out 3 years ago, and we're able to be more profitable actually at a little bit less in terms of units. So we did 266 units exactly in 2013.
All right, that's pretty much sounds like what my team's doing, and we used to be up there in the 500s as well. So I'm with you 100%. So what was your GCI last year?
1.157. So we did $1,157,636.
All right, what'd you net from that?
We netted 19.1%, which I think I wrote that number down here. So
yeah, it's 300 grand, something like that.
No, it's about 220,000
okay.
is what it was. Yeah, which ironically is more than I used to pay myself when I worked in the business. So not a bad deal.
I see. So okay, so tell me about that. So 3 years ago, you left town.
Yeah.
How are you involved in the business? How did you do that?
I did it wrong. First, I did it wrong 3 times. Almost lost everything that I've ever built or had in my life before we figured it out, how to step out of the business and remain profitable. So the challenge was, how do you make the things that we do as rainmakers scalable for someone else to do, and create those efficiencies and try to automate as much of the processes as you can. So that's what took multiple years. And the only reason I wanted to step out of the business was because I was more passionate about helping real estate agents build their business, and the lessons learned in trying to step away without the technologies and the dashboard and reporting and the things that you need to know on a daily basis to know if it's going well or not. Was all missing whenever I first stepped away from the business. So that was the challenge we had to overcome.
Did you sell it to another agent or?
No, it's still profitable. We actually hired salaried employees in a couple of key positions. Regarding sales, the listing side of the business is 100% to the bottom line. So we're not paying 30, 40, 50, 60 cents to an agent to go out and take that listing anymore. So we, through division of labor, were able to isolate the key areas that mattered and create scalability in the presentation, where it wasn't about me and how many houses I sold and all that good stuff, and train somebody to go out and as a true sales role, give a presentation and win the client. And then the main ingredient to this was having a customer experience manager or account manager kind of a position that really maintains the client service throughout the entire transaction and make sure that they are 100% being taken care of.
Is your listing agent on a salary now?
He is.
And does he get bonuses, or he or she?
Small bonus, not much. It's a total equivalent of about $75,000.
Okay. All right, and that's worked out well for you.
It's actually unbelievable when you think about my average sale price is $125,000. I know when I visited your office years ago, Pat, I think your average was like $430,000 or $40,000 back then.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't imagine selling houses and having that kind of average commission. And I think it's been a benefit. You know, the low average sale price has forced us to really be spot on with what we pay, how we pay, and the efficiencies and the scalability in the system, because otherwise, you know, it real easily could lose money. So, and it did for a few years trying to figure it out. It was not doing that well. So, you know, we've been able to figure out how to, you know, build a true business and make it profitable because of that low average sale price. So it's actually worked to our advantage.
Okay, cool. So tell me something about you as a kid, where you had a shift where you knew that you were, from that point forward, you were going to achieve greatness.
Yeah. I know it's one of those things you don't like to talk about, I guess, probably. But I would say, you know, my senior year, I was always pretty competitive. I was never really that good at sports, but you know, I was very competitive. I always wanted to win, worse than it seemed like my skills would allow in some cases. And we went 0-10 as a senior in high school in football. And at that point, I think there was something in me that triggered that I decided I was never going to lose again. It just was something that really kind of stuck with me for a lot of years, and I just didn't like the feeling of not winning. I'd done plenty of that, so I think that was probably one of the turning points for me.
That's great. That's great. I can visualize that. Very good.
We were terrible.
Yeah, tell me something interesting about Jay Kinder that you wouldn't necessarily tell to a stranger.
Oh man, that's a great question. Something I wouldn't tell a stranger. You know, I'm one of those. I pretty much I don't try to hide anything. So I kind of would probably tell a stranger just about anything about me. But I think there's one thing that, you know, maybe I don't tell everybody, and that's from a financial standpoint. In trying to build these companies that I've been building for years, and I almost lost everything at one point. And I don't always talk about that, but you know, they're the best lessons you could ever have in life. You know, those types of challenges. But those are the things that really taught me the lessons and really, you know, challenged me to.
So when you say you almost lost everything, does that mean financially you almost lost everything?
Financially, yeah. Financially.
So how did that happen? Tell me the story.
It happened because I wasn't running my business like a business, which leads to a lot of the passion behind what we do now. But it was mainly because I wasn't paying attention to the numbers. I didn't understand financially the numbers. I'd always hired that position, and I was just, you know, go sell, go sell, go sell. And in doing that, you know, in 2008, the downturn, I had a coaching company that coached real estate agents, a real estate company, 20 or 30 rental houses, and about, you know, a couple $1 million worth of residential developments. You know, whether it was houses or we had one development going at the time. So I had my hands in everything real estate. And, you know, when it started to go down, I mean, everything went down. So, you know, it got down to the point where I actually had to try to negotiate making a payment with my boat, in December, trying to make ends meet. And, it was a low point, you know, but you got to, you know, fight back and come up with a plan, and you know, I was able to do that, and I'm debt free now. So it paid off, but
that's great.
It was definitely a challenge.
Did you lose all the houses to foreclosure?
No, I didn't. You know, that I never missed a payment on anything. I just barely made it, but I made it, and I ended up, you know, I didn't have to, you know, go and, you know, file bankruptcy or anything of that nature, but it just was a level of pressure for a long period of time that really shaped who I am and why I'm so passionate about helping agents to build a business, not just, you know, sell a bunch of real estate, because, you know, it can all disappear tomorrow, and you really don't have anything unless, you know, you have truly a business that's sellable. And that's just where our passion is now.
Wow, that is something you won't want to forget.
Yeah. We were all so high, you know, in the 2003, 4, 5, 6, even parts of 7, and the hangover of 8 and 9 was blowing. So
yeah.
So there's a lot of people that can feel your pain, you know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Let's go back to when you first started. How did you go from being a rookie agent to a Rockstar agent?
Yeah, you know, I get asked that question quite a bit, and you know, I stunk it up for the first couple of years. I didn't know what I was doing, you know, and maybe by, you know, the average numbers, maybe it wasn't that bad, but I think I only sold 22 houses my first year. and the average sale price was like 50,000 back then. So I didn't make any money. And I'm pretty sure I spent more than I made in trying to figure it out. But I think the turning point, really for me was investing in myself and going to seminars, and they didn't always come to Lawton, but if in Oklahoma City I could drive up there and go to a seminar, and I always just try to find somebody that had solved the problem that I had and just try to pay them to learn from them. And you would think more people do that, but maybe I was just lucky, but I always had success doing that. I mean, finding something that someone else had already proven and then just trying it and seeing if it worked, and that that helped to kind of spur the, wow, I could really do, more, than I ever dreamed, probably. Because I looked at my goal setting sheet that I'd set back in like 1998 or 9. That was the first full year after I completed my first full year in 98. And my goal for income was 35,000. So it wasn't like I was dreaming really big back then, but I saw that you could do more, right? Like, and then the years on, obviously I set bigger goals, but it was just, the continuous, thirst for knowledge and finding someone modeling success. It would be probably the thing I think that really was a turning point. It continues to be the turning point for me. I'm continuing to learn every day.
Now that is a pearl.
But what did you do specifically? Did you pick up the phone and call expireds, FSBOs, past clients? I mean, what were you doing? I mean, first year you don't have past clients, but
yeah, my dad was a broker, so I think he threw me a couple of bones there the first year to keep me at least alive. They gave me all the crappy listings that they didn't want, which was they had corporate link was the account, and it was a bunch of bank-owned crap properties that nobody wanted to list in the company. So that was one thing that I kind of got lucky with, I think. And then it was expired or for sale by owner. Those were the leads that didn't exist, that nobody else was really working. I just went and failed forward. As more people I met with, I didn't have anything else to do, right? So might as well try to get face to face with people and, learned a couple scripts. I think back then I'd gone to a couple of different training webinars and, this and that and the other. Some guy by the name of Roger Butcher, I bought his $200 or $300 worth of stuff and started using it. And just, what he taught me, one thing that I'll never forget, even to this day, it sticks in my head. He said, if you ever drive by a for sale by owner and you don't stop, back up the car and go down that, drive down that street and write down that phone number, that is a free lead, and you can't get free leads in real estate other than for sale by owners.
PEARL.
And expired. Those are the only free leads you're going to get. And if you ever drop by, and he just kind of beat it into my head, and to this day, I kind of have this like knee-jerk reaction when I see a for sale by owner sign, and it was just something that was, taught to me early on that it's a free opportunity. Those people, most of the time, are going to list, and the person who is really tries to help them the most is probably got as good a shot as anybody to get it.
You're listening to the Hiban Digital Broadcasting Network. Go to hibandigital.com for more information on each episode.
So how do you balance now?
Balance now, I have a calendar, and in this calendar is every single thing that I do personally or professionally. Everything is in my calendar. I block off my free time. I block off my time for myself. I block off time with family. I block off vacations and all that stuff a year in advance, which that's actually a new thing for me. I've gotten way ahead in my calendar to block off the most important things that need to happen from a personal perspective and also a professional perspective as well. But living by the calendar, it's not, some people say, oh, I don't want to be trapped by my calendar, but I think it's helped me to get clarity on what it is that I'm doing, and making sure that it's in my calendar has been my way of, making sure that I'm not doing things that are not productive with my time.
What phone app or software are you real excited about right now?
Phone app, man, I don't know. I have a lot of them. I would say, let's just see if I got anything on my Audible. I'll tell you the best app, if somebody doesn't have it, is the Audible app. Audible is awesome. I would say I read a lot of books, but I really listen to a lot of books more so than I read. So Audible is probably my favorite. And, in drive time, I got about 25 minutes to my house in the country. So, it gives me every day. I got almost an hour's worth of listening to a book, and it's just it's net time, as Tony Robbins calls it. No extra time. I'm in the car, might as well and do something to get personal development, personal improvement out of that time. So Audible's probably my favorite app, I would say.
This episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Hiban. Check out what the Rockstars are reading for free.
So what are you listening to right now?
Give and Take, actually. Adam Grant. Very good book. It caught me off guard in the beginning. It's very good, but it's about givers and takers and which ones are more successful in life. So it's
and which ones?
Yeah. I think you probably know which one it is, but I'll let you. He starts out with a very interesting study that caught me so off guard I couldn't stop listening to the book. So I'll let you enjoy that yourself. I did just finish another. Yeah, it got me off guard. I was like, "There's no way he's going to say this. There's no way." Anyway, it's good. So it's been a very good book and a lot of great research in it, and a lot of just kind of takeaways that you kind of walk away with understanding how to deliver more value in this world.
Yeah, I'll read that. That sounds good. So what's the strangest request you've ever had from a client?
I had a client one time seriously ask me to pay for the roof to be replaced on their house prior to closing and genuinely believed that I should pay for it for some reason. And I just thought, what on earth are you thinking? It was early in my business where I think maybe, I probably wasn't as good at articulating the value and making that value visible to the consumer. But that's probably the strangest request I've had is for someone to believe that I should be the one to replace the roof on their home.
Well, that's an easy one. Of course, the reason is because probably you were making enough to pay for the roof via your commission.
Yeah, I was still going to, obviously, in her mind, still profit after that. And, of course, why wouldn't I pay for her roof, I guess?
Right. If you have money, why not give it, right? Tell me about the deal from hell.
Oh, man. Gosh, it seems like a lot of them are that way in this business, it seems like sometimes. I don't really think, I can't think of one in particular that was a deal from hell. I would say the one thing that made me think of was there was a point in time where I felt like every one of these deals, and this back when I was doing 30, 40 deals, and I was involved in most of them, and I had an upset client. I don't even remember what it was about, but they were just really, really upset and wanted me to do something. It was something I couldn't fix, and somebody told me, they said, you can't make everyone happy, Jay. You got to just go to bed at night knowing that you did everything you possibly could to make them happy, and you got to move on.
Now that's a pearl.
Yeah. So what is the little trick? It's easy to say, hey, don't take it personal. It's easy to say, suck it up.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, Fido, forget it and drive on. But what is the little trick that you learned? Yeah,
you genuinely have to look at the situation and see if it's something that you could have prevented or should have prevented. If you should have prevented, then you feel like there's a monetary, something monetary in it for them, then you do the right thing. If not, you just let it go. You just, look at it from the perspective of say, listen, I'd do anything in the world to help you. I'm sorry you feel that way you feel. I'd love to be able to fix this for you, but I don't, to pay for something that I don't feel we're really liable for. I don't understand, I don't know what it is that you want me to do. And, I apologize if you're not happy, but, unfortunately it is what it is. And you just kind of move on with life after that.
When's the best time to ask for a referral?
When the client's happy is the natural best answer for that. I think reminding your clients at certain points in the transaction when they're certainly very happy, that you typically the way you've grown your business is by referral, and if there's anybody that they know that might be thinking of moving or selling, that you would appreciate a referral. Asking them specifically if they know anybody from church, from their neighborhood, or friends, or work, whatever it may be. Being specific about it always helps. But kind of going along with that theme in the book, give and take. If you focus on just adding value to people's lives every day, it's funny how referrals will take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is a pearl.
So where is Jay Kinder investing his savings today?
Well, my first answer to that is always I invest in myself. And there's a large percentage of the money that I could be probably taking that goes into mentoring, masterminding, coaching, and all kinds of things of that nature with a lot of different groups. Still to this day, that's been the best return because you can spend $1, in investing in yourself, and it can pay dividends for life like no other investment. But outside of that, I would say I've been fortunate enough to get in on the stock of Facebook early. I have a bunch of rental property, so I do invest in real estate. But lately, I've been very fortunate with an investment into Facebook as that stock has gone bananas.
That's great. You moved from Oklahoma to Texas, and their sole purpose was so you could focus on a new business. And What is that new business?
The National Association of Expert Advisors, NAEA, and our focus is in really taking, the true professionals and experts that are in this business that want to really take it from doing $8 to $10 million a year and take it to well over $1 million in commissions. That's really our wheelhouse, is shortcut to success in terms of how to build a team, how to build the systems that you need in order to be successful. And we just, we teach what we've done to build, successful businesses that we continue to run today. So I think what's unique about what we do is that we're doing exactly what it is that we're teaching. So we're not guessing, and we're not removed from the business. And we're not just teaching you one niche or another niche in the business. We're teaching you the whole entire business philosophy altogether. So that's what I'm passionate about. Again, kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, that's where my passion is having a business that serves you and also serve your clients. And so that's what we're doing.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So instead of working with brand new agents going from 5 sales to 25 sales, you guys have determined, and when I say you guys, you and your partner, Michael Reese, who is also a very successful agent in his own right, the two of you will focus on taking businesses where the person, the agent, let's say, is grossing $250,000 and take them to grossing, say, $1 million. So you're taking them, increasing their business threefold or fourfold. So what would you say the one thing is that people must do, agents must do, to go from making $250,000 to $1 million?
It's 100% leverage, and there's a lot of ways to leverage. And the biggest mistake that I see most agents make that go from, and we've kind of identified our ideal customer is about 100,000, in GCI, is kind of where we generally, find our best client. And they go out and they hire a bunch of agents, and the next thing they're doing 200 or 300 deals, and they're not any more profitable than when they were doing 150, 200 deals without any agents or whatever. And that's probably the place that we help the most, is understanding financially the decisions you're making in your business and how to grow that business profitably, work less and keep more. So, it seems like that's, probably everybody would say, oh, well, yeah, that does make sense, but it's not how most agents grow their business. They typically grow their business by giving away, 50, 60 cents on the dollar, and those are dollars that they were keeping all the money on. And in doing so, you tend to dramatically affect your profitability as you decide to try to really transition and grow your business. And it can be financially devastating, as I can account for myself. So I did that, and I learned that you can't take transactions to the bank. It's not about transactions; it's about profitability, and it's about taking care of your team and the people that work around you, and taking care of your clients. If you do those things right, the money takes care of itself, but you got to understand that, the financial side of the business on what decisions you're making and how it impacts the bottom line.
Right. So you say the answer is leverage, and leverage we would assume is people, meaning adding to your team, number one. Number two, buying leads, right? Is there anything else besides people and buying leads?
Yeah, and automation, systems and processes is probably the number one thing that are mismanaged in an agent's business as they grow. They tend to, do more deals, but, if there's not scalability in the business in terms of every time you take a listing, this process happens, and you can do 1 or 100 listings this month, and that process would not break. So the more you can automate things, the better. And you can really automate a lot these days with technology. So there's ways to deliver a consistent customer experience as you grow your brand and your business. And that's really the last piece of that leverage, I think, that really makes the biggest impact on having a lasting business being built.
Hi, this is Barack Obama, and I'm going to suggest you write that one down.
That's awesome. What is your favorite piece of system that you recommend to your people today?
Yeah, it depends on what problem you're trying to solve. I would say that because there really hasn't been a technology built for the real estate business as a whole, that kind of does everything. We find ourselves with multiple Google spreadsheets and multiple logins to all these different systems. And Infusionsoft has been, we have a version of Infusionsoft, the NAEA version actually, that where we built and shared the exact systems that run my business, and that's what we've built it on. It's always being improved upon, and always will be, because that's what you do when you're trying to improve processes. But it's definitely been a game changer for us in terms of scaling our ability to do just about anything in the business. So that's the one thing I'm using.
So through the NAEA version of Infusionsoft, can you pretty much do anything as far as a real estate team is concerned through that?
Yeah, you can literally, I feel comfortable saying you can do anything with Infusionsoft. It is a very, very powerful and robust tool. It's known more as a sales and marketing tool, but we've modified the out of the box version of that for the real estate industry, and specifically for for the person who's wanting to build their business behind a software. So the cool thing about technology is its ability for things to bolt onto it. So, some programs have, open API and work with other programs, and others don't. Infusionsoft is really kind of that nucleus program that anything else you may be doing can bolt onto, and, start to finish all the way down to the P&Ls have, a streamlined, business software, and automation software. So that's what we're using.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, I'll have to check that out, actually. The second person that's mentioned that to me in the last week or so, and I've always thought of it as a MailChimp type device for emails, only.
Yeah,
So that's good to hear. So good. Well, Jay, listen, it's been great having you on the show. I really appreciate you sharing and helping out the agents there that are struggling, and the agents that are looking to grow their business from $200,000 to $1 million. I mean, that's a great sweet spot for you. So good luck with your new business there, and great talking to you.
Hey, Pat, it's always great to talk to you, and I appreciate what you're doing for the industry. You're always been a help, and back in the day when I even had the opportunity to come visit your office, and always learn a lot whenever I have the opportunity to speak with you. So thank you very much for that.
Don't forget to buy Pat's International New York Times bestseller, 6 Steps to 7 Figures, a real estate professional's guide to building wealth and creating your destiny. Sold on Amazon.com.
Pat Hiban may have sold 5,000 homes in his career, but in my personal opinion, he's crazier than a bag of snakes.
Here's an opportunity for you to ask any question, no holds barred, and get it answered by a real estate expert, me. All you got to do is call 410-750-6746. That's 410-750-6746. No one will pick up the line. It goes right into a voice recorder. You can leave a fake name and a fake city, or your real name and your real city. Just ask the question and we'll answer it on a new show that we're developing.
You're listening to the Hiban Digital Broadcasting Network. Go to hibandigital.com for more information on each episode.